The streets of Abu Shouk IDP Camp are neither paved with stones or bricks. The streets are largely unnamed, but every inhabitant knows the way home and every pigeon its roost. Abu Shouk is the confluence of the old and the new, the traditional and the modern, as trucks, cars, camels, horses and donkeys, driven by refined human manners and emotions, travel well-worn roads with equanimity, with mutual respect, without suspicion whatsoever.
The IDP camp was established on 20 April 2004, following attacks on areas of Tawila and Korma by armed movements. This action led to an influx of large numbers of people to El Fasher nursery. Subsequently, Abu Shouk area, because it was vast enough to accommodate the large numbers of IDPs, was selected to shelter these displaced persons from Tawila, Korma, Rokiro, Dogo, Jebel Miser, Fata Borno, Tarni, and rural El Fasher.
The camp was planned according to tribes, umdas and sheikhs to create a sense of belonging and make people feel at home. The number of IDPs at the opening of the camp was 42,000. The population of Abu Shouk IDP Camp in 2008 was 96,000, and this figure has remained high ever since. Although the conflict between armed movements and the armed forces of Sudan, which engulfed the region in 2003, has brought the shared hardships of wartime on the people, peace is gradually returning to the region, and Unamid is in the process of a reconfiguration. With the prospects of peace returning in Darfur, children are the first to pick the scent of the new season as they laugh with the recklessness of youth, learning how to ride a donkey on sandy soil and playing snooker with a shared cue stick under dreary roofs held aloft by poles and walls of sagging resolve. Women in Abu Shouk IDP camp are resilient, hardworking and innovative. They have been compelled by the conflict situation to take up the role of the breadwinner of their families. Their engagement in enterprising activities signal the birth of a new dawn because by so doing, they protect their husbands from being abducted or turned into cannon fodder in the ensuing onslaught by armed combatants who may still be on the prowl as part of a hangover from the period of armed conflict. Darfuri women in Abu Shouk IDP camp make clothes to eke out a living, protect their kith and kin against the elements, provide a means of identification, and offer information on social statuses. Darfuri women are civil engineers in their own right as they engage in civil construction work to provide shelter and to make a living. The Darfuri woman in Abu Shouk IDP camp is an embodiment of talent, brains, and beauty. These Darfuri women, supported by their husbands, are resourceful traditional bone setters.
I set bones broken from playing football or through other forms of accident. It is customary that the people I treat should pay for services rendered. It is called bayad.
In this IDP camp, women know the art of body adornment, not in the style of most Western tattooists, whose tattoos remain permanent, but in the typical Darfuri fashion of a special bodily beauty which can be rubbed off to give room for the exploration of other motifs of beauty and artistic expression.
My name is Fatma Mohammed Harun. I am from Tawila. Now I reside in Al-Fasha. I learned body adornment when I was in primary 4, while other students sat listening attentively to the teacher in the front. I always sat at the back to draw in my notebook. Now I am a housewife and I live the good life with my family in the IDP camp. I do tattoo every day. I have become a professional. Women should do tattoo for happiness.
Darfuri women in this IDP camp are musicians. The men are not left out of the music arena. Indeed, music is a veritable way to educate, exercise the mind, bring peace, and provide happiness. Music serves as a reservoir of cultural heritage and helps individuals to transit from a bad mood to a good frame of mind. Like the Darfuri woman, the Darfuri man equally has the spirit of hard work as he busies himself at the forge, making knives and cutlasses for domestic use. Darfur is a land of irrepressible hope, promise, and grandeur. The presence of the Darfuri man in the marketplace is conspicuous as he has become the butcher in a bid to provide food. Women are not left out in the food business. Unamid has been actively engaged in the protection of civilians, the facilitation of humanitarian access while ensuring the safety and security of humanitarian personnel, supporting mediation between the government of Sudan and non-signatory armed movements, and supporting mediation of intercommunal conflicts. Unamid has supported health issues in Darfur. As Unamid carries out the good work in Darfur, sometimes there is a misfortune. Unamid has been most invaluable when such perilous moments come, as Unamid personnel are always at hand to provide support.
Try to find what is better for you and do that, please. Okay? And Unamid help you, inshallah, we'll do something.
Unamid تقال لكم بيعمل لكم مبنى هنا إن شاء الله وبيساعدكم.
Very bad. He's okay?
In spite of such disasters, there is the spirit of oneness, mutual understanding and cooperation in Abu Shouk IDP Camp. The celebration of peace and unity is expressed particularly in the month of Ramadan as Darfuris come together in festivity to eat and drink and dwell on common aspirations in Abu Shouk IDP Camp. Sports provides a veritable platform for peace and unity. Competitors may go into a sports battle, but winners and losers soon come together again in warm embrace because sports promotes the understanding that there are no permanent gainers or losers. This spirit ought to be replicated in other real-life situations. sports, like other situations in life, must be a game of give and take. The Darfuri man and woman give birth to prodigies. They write in the hearts of the young rules of good.
رغم المعاندة برضو معسكر أبو شوق ما زال ينافس مدينة الفاشل.
The 5 basic services provided by the government of Sudan in collaboration with UN agencies. Education is the most important, as there are public and private schools at the kindergarten, primary and secondary school levels. There are also Quranic schools. 18 basic education schools have been established to accommodate about 16,441 pupils, in addition to some private schools established by UNICEF. These schools are run by the Ministry of Education, which provides teachers, books, and educational aid. The schools have educational councils, and the good work of these councils provides for a relatively stable education.
When the results of the 2017 Sudanese secondary school certificate examination were announced, the first position in El Fasher, North Darfur, went to a pupil from Abu Shouk IDP Camp. The same happened in 2016 as the first position nationwide in the basic education certificate examination was achieved by a pupil from Abu Shouk IDP Camp. This reflects the educational situation in Abu Shouk IDP Camp. People of the camp feel that having lost their homes, they must focus on education. Isam Mohammadin was not born with a golden spoon in his mouth. The house of his grandmother where he lives is the epitome of poverty. The window has no frames. But Isam Mohammadin scored 92% in Sudanese certificate examination, which qualifies him for admission into the prestigious University of Sudan. The joy of the grandmother of Isam Mohammadin is unquantifiable. His mother and father are equally caught in the excitement as they express a great feeling of pleasure and happiness. Asked for his elixir, his medicinal solution for success, Isam Mohammadin is quick to preach the message of peace.
I believe I have achieved success in my examination because I have found peace with myself. Peace, which people search for through negotiations and meetings, is to be found in the heart and mind of the individual. Peace is one of the names of Allah.
The resolute and undaunted Darfuri spirit in Isam Mohammadin is unmistakable, as nothing will stand between him and success. Unamid will not remain in Darfur forever. But what are the prospects in Abu Shouk IDP Camp? Is the glorious dawn in Darfur already in the fullness of time? Has the season of bitterness and acrimony in the country truly come of age? Is this indeed the season of a harvest of laughter? Have the pigeons come home to roost?